Okay, it's 5 days after I started the brewing process. I've decided to rack this an extra time. By racking it just means filtering it out, putting it in another container. It normally goes straight from my ale pail to my glass. But today what I'm going to do is, and then it'll sit in the glass for a while. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it into another clean bucket here for about 4 or 5 days. Time doesn't really matter. It will basically help filter out a little bit more. So when I filter it this time, I'll leave some junk here, throw it into here, and then when it goes from here to there, I'll leave more junk in here. So there'll be less dead yeast in the final resting. I'm not sure how long it will be till I keg it, and that's why I want to get the extra stuff out. It'd be nice if it could sit on. Normally, I'm only 3 weeks in the glass. I'm actually hoping to let it sit on the glass for a few months, if not longer, but really depends when I need to keg it. So if I don't drink my cider fast, I won't need to keg it. And then I'm going to get another one going here, hopefully maybe next week. I want to get ahead of the gang. I actually have another clear glass container, so I have 2, but I want to get ahead of the gang. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get this racked over. And what I'm going to do here is I can smell the alcohol. I'm putting my little meter in here. I want to just see how much it's created. One of the things that we'll do by this extra racking is it could help it cook a little bit more alcohol, but I'm looking at the numbers right now and really can't burn much more off. I'd explain these meters to you if I knew them a little bit more, but basically I'm down to 0 as far as what I can brew more alcohol out of it. So this has basically cooked all of it out pretty much. Now that being said, I'm pretty sure if I remember my history and my learning is that can cook a little down farther, but not much. So what I'm doing, sometimes usually when I'm using in the glass, I actually use a hose. I decided that since it's cooked all the way through, I'd do it this way. I think it will run a little harder and maybe it will stir up a little bit of yeast. And then it'll cook maybe just a little farther down. So when I rack it again, I'll go ahead and check where I'm at on the meter. I didn't show you this meter, but maybe I did last time. This when I started this batch, it told me I could get about 8% alcohol. When I just checked it, it was 0. It was just maybe a smidgen above the 1. So technically, it might have been just a touch above 0. I'll have to look it up to see how far it can go down, but I'm pretty sure it can brew down just a little farther. Now, a lot of people will stop their brewing sooner. If they can siphon off and kill the yeast and all that, because they want to keep a little sugar in there. The problem with that is then you got to use chemicals really to stop the action of the sugar. I don't want chemicals. So what I do, since I like a sweeter cider, is I actually, and I wasn't looking because I was talking, but I just spill a little bit on the floor here. So I mean, I'll have a little cleanup. I thought this thing was closed. Always check your spigots before you start pouring. I didn't spill a lot, luckily, but yeah, probably a 16-ounce glass, I hope. What I do is I back sugar. I don't like to use chemicals to stop it. And I can do the back sugaring specifically because I back sugar and keg it right away and goes right in the cooler. The cold will stop it from cooking. Now, I say that I have noticed in the past where it's cooked inside the keg a little bit, but not much. I notice it because I get a little bit more. I get a little bit more carbonation, and it's a little foamy. You just have to let the air off it a couple times, and it's fine. But I think I've only noticed it once cooking, and it might have been my imagination. But this is pretty much basically it. I guess we can sit here and watch it to the end. I won't make you watch me do my cleanup. I'm going to blame that on you guys because I was filming, right? But we'll go ahead and watch. Go right to the end, and I'll show you what I do at the end here. This is batch, especially after only 5 days. This will have a lot of sediment in it, and we're going to take it right down. I don't, especially since I'm doing an extra racking, I'm not going to worry about a little sediment going through. Matter of fact, there was a little sediment when I opened it up, very little. But since I'm doing 3 rackings, I'm not going to worry about it. There's going to still be less in the final racking when I keg it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot less sediment in there. So, but yeah, we'll let this go down, and just probably can't tell, but it's right bound down to there. Trying to look to see how much liquid went underneath. Wouldn't be the first time that I spilled a little bit, but this was sort of aggravating to lose a little right on camera. But hey, you got to see that what it's like. You guys might have even seen it leaking before I did. Now, it stirred it all up pretty good. I don't necessarily need to stir it again, but I might. So we'll get that done up and let that dry off. Draining the last little bit takes a little time. You just gotta get it on its edge, and so I think we're gonna stop the camera, and I'll come back when we're. I'll come back when it's. Well, yeah, I say that, and it's already there almost, isn't it? Yeah, we'll just keep you here. It's the winter time. You don't have anything else to do, right? Okay. Now, when you tip this, obviously, you don't want to tip it too fast or too far. You want to just do it gentle, as not to stir up too much of the dead stuff on the bottom. As I said, I don't mind a little coming over. Hopefully the only thing that comes over will be live yeast, but you probably got about I got a good 16 ounces maybe left, maybe less. Okay, when I get this done, I'll turn it off and then show you what's in the bottom here. And if I wasn't racking it again, I wouldn't probably be draining it down this far, but I'm getting a little bit of sediment through, but I'm hoping it's the only thing coming over is going to be live yeast. But so this is I don't know if in this light you'll be able to tell, but you can see there's a lot of sediment in there. Yeah, there's a lot of sediment down there, and that's just basically dead yeast. I don't know what else would be down there, but it's mainly just dead yeast. Now, as I said, I decided I was going to, after stirring it, I wanted to just check this for the hell of it. Or mixing it. It's about the same spot. I got bubbles chasing it around. Yeah, it's probably gained just a touch. So I stirred up some sugars, obviously, in the bottom. I'm not going to bother stirring it. But I'm going to get it up here. I'm going to get this down. Okay. And then we've already had that ready and sprayed it once, but we'll just spray it one more time. Now, as you can see on that thing, it's got a little pressure. It wasn't showing any pressure before I did this, so it's just after being stirred up, it's going to start working again. I hadn't heard it chugging along. I'd say the last 2 days. It would probably chug once an hour or something. So now I'm probably within the next hour, not for very long, probably maybe through the night. Basically, whatever yeast was stirred up, any of the live stuff is gonna, with what sugar is left in there, will still keep working. But the fact that it's at 0%, there's not a lot of food for the yeast. I could have jacked it up and put a little bit more sugar in there, but I'm happy with where the alcohol content is now. But I don't know if that might have just helped burn off some of the yeast for the next transfer. But this will be nice to see the next transfer on this one into the clear, and that's I will probably post this online before I do that, or maybe I won't. I'll just have to see what I decide to do. But hey, if you want to see the rest of the process, click subscribe. If you like the video, hey, give me a like. If you don't like the video, hey, tell me so. I don't mind. It's just winter time and I'm putzing, so showing you how I make a simple hard cider. Until next time, Matt at Pegtown Pines. Bye.